In March this year, I was awarded Arts Council funding to deliver research and development with the SS Robin. I stumbled upon her on a walk from Woolwich Dockyard. The cargo ship, nicknamed the Survivor, is the world's last remaining steam coaster of her kind, so she's really significant. To deliver this project, I built a team of collaborators which included the decorators and Greenwich Dance, as well as a team of performers. The purpose of the research was to allow me to lay the groundwork for a large-scale performance in 2016, unlocking the SS Robin's significant past through the archive and working alongside the support team now caring to restore and preserve her. My research allowed me time to develop the method of turning archive and story into movement.
So the process that we've been on has started with archive research. So we've looked at old photographs of the boat, who's worked on the boat. We've been on the boat with local tours.
We started off with a lot of ideas about rhythm and the rhythm of the sailors and the kind of things that they would do when they were pulling the ropes and kind of the rhythms of the boat, and we listened to a lot of songs.
I think we quite quickly established that the nature of this project and the boat and the history behind it, a kind of dancey piece wasn't going to be necessarily appropriate. So we looked a lot at how movement could be informed by a real sort of an authentic approach to how these people would have moved and how every lifting, tasking, moving could in fact generate movement itself.
So in terms of the archive, we've been given lots of stimulus, lots of images, lots of written things that are written down, lots of audio footage of people who worked on the Robin, things they'd said. Sometimes it's just been to inform the sort of tasks that we're doing, to give a little bit of background knowledge.
My research saw me developing a package of workshops which were toured locally to primary schools. Each school got the chance to discover the history and the story of the SS Robin through a fun and practical workshop. I used film, projection, costumes, props to bring the SS Robin to the schools. I worked with 150 young people in years 4 to 6.
I have had such fantastic feedback. Rosie really linked the 19th century boat to everyday lives and let the children experience what it would have been like to be on a working boat in the 19th century. They have since been back to school and have done further work in their classroom, but I have had all the staff say how fantastic the dance project was, and the children were so well behaved. We have had children who haven't taken part in dance before or who were not very confident in dance who all took part, and they all really enjoyed the day. I myself have since taken some of the ideas and taken them into a school myself, and the ideas are absolutely fantastic.
I also delivered a number of events in partnership with Create London and Greenwich Dance. These events were for families and were listed in Time Out, Run Riot with significant interest. Over 200 families attended these different events. And I was inspired by Victorian portraiture, so photographs of dock workers and the working people. I set up a photographic roll and projected film that I had created of archive footage of the SS Robin, and it created a visual backdrop. I then taught the families the semaphore code according to their family name, and then costumed them with a prop box of all sorts of goodies and took Polaroid pictures of the families in front of the backdrop, and I gave them back to the families as a souvenir.
For us, I suppose as architects or designers, was a very interesting process that we really wanted to try. We always work within the architecture field, so for us to work with someone like is an artist and a performer like Rosie was very interesting to see actually how these two fields could merge. We always work in terms of furniture or office spaces, but actually we never really work in movement. So we were really interested in seeing how we can actually explore the city through those fields.
Collaborating with the decorators was fantastic. We discussed the materials that made the SS Robin, which influenced a lot of my decisions aesthetically, but also the decisions made in terms of the materials we used at each event, but also in the studio. In the studio, we looked at the physicality of the dock workers and also the sailors. I researched the formations and shapes, songs, and the ways that the sailors and dock workers would lift and carry objects to get a real sense of how the people moved. As my research was so particular and quite detailed, the studio work became about being authentic to the location, the time frame, and then back to the archive.
My name's Matthew Friday, so I'm a member of staff at the SS Robin Trust. The ship was built in 1890, so she's just over 125 years old, and she was built in London. She's the last one of her class, so she's a really important historical ship, and that's what the Trust is about. She's a steam coaster, so she stayed around the coast, mostly of the UK when she worked over here, although she did go over to Ireland and over to France as well. She took everything in the UK, from bale goods right through to coal. In Spain, she worked the west coast, carrying coal between Bilbao and the other cities along there.
During the performance, there's going to be a lot of people coming from West Silvertown, from the local area, and also from other parts of London. And we're going to perform for the boat, on the boat, with the boat, and tell a story about her and what's happened and why she's the last one of her kind.
The SS Robin was brought by Spanish owners and spent a lot of her working life renamed as the Maria, working up and down the coast of Spain. Because there's little information about this, I developed this and created an imaginary version of accounts, which were much more theatrical, colourful, bold and playful. I like the fact that this boat had two lives, one we know a lot about and the other we know little about. And I loved the fact that I could play with two different scenarios and create almost two different identities and movement dialogues. The final presentation of the research came together through a performative guided tour. I wanted to take the audience on a journey and present the work in vignettes, almost to give the audience a sense of me behind the scenes trying to piece everything together. And it also allowed the audience to piece together the story of the SS Robin for themselves.
So halfway within the project, while we were doing lots of research and talking about different people involved as well with the SS Robin, I realized, and I think it was quite interesting for me to realize that how everyone was referring to the SS Robin as a her, as that she went to Bilbao, she went to here, she went there. So we found really interesting this personification about the boat. This also in combination with a little book of an alphabet of flags, like maritime flags that we found within the archive. I think that sparked the idea of like trying to develop a new flag alphabet that would be specifically designed for the SS Robin, and it would be a tool, a language tool, so the boat could communicate what it could become in the near future. How can it serve to its community? So it's not just about us talking to the SS Robin, but somehow finding a mechanism so the SS Robin can also talk to the others and explain why is there, what is she there, what she wants to be, what she can become, what can she provide for the community, and all these kind of terms.
I would recommend anybody to take part in Rosie's workshops. I hope she's going to work with us again, as I have got lots of schools in Greenwich who have not had the opportunity and have been asking me if they can be involved as well. I really hope I can put this workshop on again for the other schools to experience this really fantastic dance. I would really like to thank Rosie for providing this opportunity for 4 of my schools. So thank you very much, Rosie.
I feel like it's been a really interesting process to be a part of, and I think it's been a really open, collaborative environment to be working through, which is the way I think the best choreography is made.
It's been really exciting working with Rosie this year. There's been all sorts of different stuff that we wouldn't normally been able to do. So it's fantastic to get a bit more publicity for the ship and to help us with the community engagement there. We're looking forward to next year. Hopefully we'll be able to do this larger project, which sounds fantastic. We've had good feedback from the community groups involved that want to be involved in that. So hopefully, full steam ahead.
My research has taken me on a huge journey. In 2016, I would love to present a large-scale outdoor performance. The SS Robin is often called the working people's boat, which really resonates to me. So I feel that it's only fair that the finished article should be with the people, by the people, that live and work alongside the SS Robin. Throughout the research, we have always questioned what the SS Robin is trying to say. The performance next year will give the SS Robin the voice she deserves.